water and salt in the sea is also in you and me. The waves come and go, and we are pushed to grow. But we can see with our hearts there's more than the sum of its parts.
Let's go.
Ready to go, Danny?
Let's start, Daddy. Let's start. So let's talk. So let's talk about conservation. Conservation of these whales.
So let's talk about conservation of these whales.
How are they doing? It's work done.
How are they doing?
Okay.
Done.
Yeah, so humpback whales, they used to be considered as endangered worldwide. But then I believe in the last 10 years, they were, what do you call it? Like lowered
Down.
lowered down to first vulnerable, meaning not too much endangered, and then to least concern. But the distinct population in the Philippines, together with 4 other distinct populations in the North Pacific, they based on the last estimate of how many they are, it's been found that there's only about 1,000 of them. And because they're genetically distinct, and because they're found in the Philippines and Japan, where there are still threats to them, they've been considered by the U.S. through the Endangered Species Act to be endangered. So they listed that distinct population as one of the endangered populations. In the Philippines, they're also considered as endangered.
Okay.
So the threats, they have been hunted in the past, and this specific population has not recovered.
Okay.
And then marine pollution is one of the biggest threats right now.
Really?
Yes, especially unfortunately, in the Philippines and in Japan. In Japan, slightly different. They have threats in terms of shipping and whale watching. And for us, not really, because it's fairly remote where they are found. But in the Philippines, the most recent threat is offshore mining.
Okay.
So that whole area, the Babuyan Marine Corridor, is being threatened by the impacts of offshore mining, not just on the whales, but more importantly on the fish and the coastal areas. And a lot of people depend on fisheries in that area.
Others are big issue.
Oh, those are big issues.
And I have this and I and answer
THATHEY
that they
I'm sure that they
are
EDIFFICULT
it's difficult
TRESOLVE.
Acebes went done.
Those are big issues, and I'm sure they're difficult to resolve.
They are. Like, it's very, it's like, honestly, there's very little you can do, like in our level, because it's governments that decide. Like offshore mining, for example, is very political, and in the Philippines, especially, unfortunately, mining has always been a big issue, but because it's supported by governments, it's hard to like oppose it because you're seen as like an activist, and that's never good. Like in the Philippines, yeah, that's
It's
quite
one of the
dangerous.
most dangerous countries to be an environmental activist, sadly.
Yeah. So actually, right now, like if I wasn't leaving, I was asked to attend like a consultation, because the company that is mining that area wants to expand the area and to increase their extraction.
Right.
But yeah, so I don't know what's gonna happen.
Oh,
Oh.
oh, bye. Oh my good. Oh my goodness. Goodness. Oh my goodness.
Say
Acebes.
it. Be careful.
Done and done.
Thank you. Yeah, I was.
This fun.
Yeah, I wanted to go, but because I couldn't. And yeah, I think they also time it that they know it's still difficult to travel around the Philippines because it's far. I live far from that area, and they were doing the consultations on site.
I mean, that's a common issue with consultations. You can say you had I mean, even conservation groups holding consultations too. Like you can say you have a consultation, but you know, it's important who can come.
Yeah, the people who are supposed to be consulted are not there. So.
Yeah.
Wow. So, how can you?
How can you? SUPPORTCONSERV AIOURWORKSAFELY.
Question?
Yeah, that's a question mark. But
Done.
so how can you support conservation in your work safely?
With difficulty.
Oh, it's he's just playing with the board.
Done.
Like to deconstruct the words he's just spelled, and he'll like tap them in different orders.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that's with difficulty. We try, like, especially if it's a big issue like this, we do try to get involved in the meetings when we can. But the safest way is just to do it via social media. And yeah, we've been warned by other friends who work on this kind of things much longer. Like we give very little personal information, obviously, like us individuals, but as an organization, it's safer to just put the organization as a like in front and to work with other organizations. We do try as much as possible to we don't uh, we don't attack basically. We don't say anything that's too confrontational, like especially to government agencies, because that's the tricky thing. These companies, for example, that offshore mining company, works with our Department of Environment and Natural Resources, and they're the ones who approve it. So we have to talk to them in a way that they won't find it like we're attacking them. It's just giving them.
You have to be diplomatic.
Yes, and then giving them the science explanation behind why we think it's not good to be doing those activities. So so we try our best to do it by talking and just giving reason based on science, and then trying to appeal for more meetings and consultations and things like that.
That is very, very important work. Acebes was done.
It is very important. Yeah.
It's hard, but not easy.
So how are you?
How are M-A-R-I-N.
Sarah Marine.
So how are marine?
Sarah Marine. Sarah Marine. Mammals to doing in the
P-H-I-L-L-I. I know what you're trying to say.
It's hard to spell it sometimes.
P-I-L-I-P-P-I-N-E-S.
Philippines.
So how are marine mammals doing in the Philippines?
Christmas done.
In general, they're doing well
Done.
because they've been protected since the 1990s. So they're no longer hunted, but there's always a but. Some species, like the Irrawaddy dolphin, because they are found only in very few specific areas in the Philippines, and they're found in areas where there's a lot of fisheries as well. They're the ones that are still considered critically endangered. They get caught in not just active fishing nets, but trash, like what do you call it? Discarded fishing nets. Some of the reasons why they are found dead, stranded, we still don't know the reasons why. So it could be pollution, who knows. And then in some areas where like a friend works, they're planning to build a bridge, for example, which again is going to be detrimental to their habitat. That will definitely affect them. But for other species, in general, there is no direct threat. Everything is indirect, either pollution, there's a lot of marine pollution in the Philippines, or accidentally being caught in fishing.
Yes. Tough.
Yeah,
Acebes
it's
was
tough.
done.
Yeah. Very, very hard.
What we can see with our hearts is more than the sum of its parts. What we can see with our hearts is more than the sum of its parts.